In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use your Cricut design space on the iPad and make these monogram beer glasses. I found the glasses from Dollar Tree, and the vinyl I'm using was sent to me by Arteza. In this package, there's 38 different colors. They lay completely flat, so there's no fighting with the roll to get it on your mat, and they truly are premium quality. They hold up to heat and they hold up to water, and they are a permanent vinyl. So let's get started. So there's various monogram fonts you can use and download to your iPad from this website, dafont.com. There's all sorts of resources for fonts, so feel free to use whichever one works for you. Now, the one in today's example that I'm going to be using is this font right here called Monogramos. So that one, you'll want to click download in order to put it on your iPad. But since I already have this one, I'm going to demonstrate this one right above it because I also like this particular font. Now, you'll notice there's two different versions. This is where the letters are actually individually cut out. This is like a knockout version. So these letters are actually going to be cut out, and then the color of your vinyl is going to be wherever the black is. So it just depends on what specific type of application you're going for. So I'm going to download this one just to show you the process. But for today's video, also make sure you download this one called Monogramos. So monograma, if you click on this one, it describes it as 100% free monogram font. So what that means is if you happen to have a vinyl business or things that you sell on an Etsy store or things like that, you can use this with a commercial free license. So we're going to click download. So now it looks like this. And Apple can't handle a zip file all by itself, so you need to have a very specific application. This one is called Any Font. I already have that installed on my iPad, but just so you can see what the logo looks like, this is what it'll look like in your app store. So go ahead and download the app called Any Font and download that to your iPad. Afterwards, go ahead and open it into this application. So now in here, you'll see all of the ones that I have downloaded so far. Here's the Monogramos, but here's the one I just now did. Now it is not installed yet. There is still another step. So you need to click on that font. Let me show you again. You need to go through this menu and you need to find the font that you just downloaded. I remember what mine looked like, so it's this one right here. And then you click tap to install. You're going to allow and close, and then it specifically tells you where to go in order to make sure you've added this completely to your iPad. This is another very important step. So from here, we're going to go to Settings, General, and Profiles. So click Done, and we're under General. Okay, so we went to Settings. We're already under General. We want to click on Profiles. So this is where it adds all these additional fonts in here. So the one that we're working with is called Monogramos. And you see I already have that one in here, but the one I'm adding right now is the one called Monograma. So I'm going to click on that and click Install. Click Next and click Install and Install. It asks you over and over and over again, but once you've done it, you will see it listed down here with the rest of them. So here it is, Monograma TTF. So that is in my profiles. So now I know I can use it within Cricut Design Space. So after you've downloaded your monogram font, go to Cricut Design Space, and then click on text. So the one I'm using today is this one, which is the Monogramos, and I know the letters that I want are M, A, and W. This one is a gift, so I know that those are the 3 letters that I want to do. So you'll see when you type each letter, M, A, and W, it gives you the full circle of those initials. So what you have to do is you have to slice out the individual letters that you want from each unit. So what I'm going to do here is, first of all, I'm going to create a shape. I'm going to click on square, but I'm going to unlock this square. That way I can squeeze it down to whatever size I want to make it. I am going to send it to the back just so I can see what I'm doing. Actually, I don't need to. Let me do it right here. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that this rectangle is overlapped over the one letter that you want. So that's good right there. I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm going to go to Actions and Duplicate. And I'm going to duplicate it one more time because I need to do that for all 3 circles. So I'm going to cover the W on this one, the one on the end, and then on this one I'm going to have to make it a lot skinnier because I need that A from right in the middle. Actually, let's do this. So now let's touch this and click Ungroup. That way, as we highlight things, we don't end up taking away from someone that we don't want to take away from. Okay, so now that each of these are individual and the rectangles are individual, we can do our slice. So slice is found under Actions, in case you got out of the menu somehow on accident. You're going to highlight just your first letter, M, and that rectangle and click Slice. Now notice what happens. Now that's sliced out. You have this one, which you could use some way if you wanted to, or like what we're going to do, we're going to use this one today. So I'm going to do the same thing to each group. You can delete the letters you don't need anymore as you go. Again, right here, click Slice. And again, delete just by touching each item. Delete out what you don't need. Okay, so now we will align middle. This makes everything about the same height. So that's great, but my spacing is still a little off. So feel free to zoom in and move this in closer to make it that circle like we had before. So you can choose any kind of spacing that you want. And then again, you can highlight it, click Align, Middle. So that justifies everything so that it's going right down the middle for you. Now for these glasses, I want this complete circle to be about 2 inches. So I'm going to highlight everything. I'm going to click Actions, and I'm going to touch Group. So now it's made all of this one piece instead of 3 separate letters. Now I'll take that, click Edit, and I'm going to lock this because I don't want anything to get unproportional. I want it to all be proportional. So I'm going to type in number 2 because I know I want this to be 2 inches, and it automatically sizes the whole thing. The other thing we want to do is we want to click attach. What that does is it makes all of these one unit so that it's not cutting out 3 separate letters. We want it to cut out as one unit. After that, I'm going to click duplicate. It looks ugly, but you can leave it like this because Cricut is smart. When you click make it, it moves it onto your mat, and there you can see, since I attached those letters together, they are staying in the grouping in the way that I designed them. It didn't move the letters all over the mat in its own way. So make sure to use that attach feature and it will put it where you want it. Now, what if you had a piece of vinyl that didn't go to the corner here? Say it was a really small piece and you just slapped it on your mat. That's okay. You can move these individually wherever you happened to put that piece of vinyl down on your mat. I happen to just be using a new piece today, so I'm going to go ahead and just leave it where it was and put those back at the top of my mat. So now I'm going to click continue. Now you'll see I have mine set to Vinyl Plus. For this Arteza, I have found that Vinyl Plus works best for me on my machine. You'll want to do a test cut and see if that's what works for you, but this is what worked for me on my machine. So let me go load this and we'll cut it out. Now I use the light grip mat when I'm using these sheets by Arteza. What I love about Arteza vinyl is that it's completely flat. There's no roll to fuss with. There's no trying to keep it straight, trying to get it unrolled. It is completely flat, and that is just wonderful. So this is one of the metallics that comes in that sample pack of 42 sheets. I absolutely love this silver. I think this is going to make a great anniversary gift. So I'm doing these monograms. It's for my sister-in-law and brother-in-law. Their anniversary is coming up in May. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut out these monograms and then attach them to these glasses. So now I'm going to cut this in half. I'm actually going to cut as close as I can. Okay, so now I know with these that these are the glasses from the Dollar Tree, and eventually I'll take these stickers off before I gift them. But also make sure you wipe your glass down with some alcohol. So I usually use alcohol wipies from the from Target or somewhere like that. Not baby wipes, but actual alcohol wipes from the pharmacy section. But I ran out of those, so today I'm just using my liquid 70% isopropyl I can never pronounce that, alcohol, and just a facial sponge. Now you'll want to make sure with a facial sponge it can tend to leave some little fuzzies behind, so kind of try to work in one direction so you're not leaving a whole bunch of fuzzies behind on your glass. So here, just trying to make sure I'm really under this for you guys. And I go ahead and go all the way around because I never know. I could end up moving this the wrong direction on accident. And then let it dry. Do the same thing with the other one. You'll want to make sure this alcohol is completely dry before you try to add the sticker to it. And then I need to kind of prop it up on both sides because it'll want to roll. So I'm just going to use a little mini dictionary on this side, and I think I'll use these scissors. Why I like these scissors is this rubber handle here. It really prevents it from slipping and sliding around. So I'll prop those up on both sides like that. And then if you watched my last video, this is the same piece of transfer tape I've been using. You know it is because it has that little white dot on it, but that's on the outside of my transfer tape, so it doesn't affect what I'm actually working on at all. This is on the top instead of on the bottom. Now this is Cricut transfer tape. I don't think Arteza has transfer tape. I looked on their website and I couldn't find any there. So you may need to buy a brand like Cricut. So the first thing we're going to do is let's weed away or pull away the excess vinyl all from the edging of these letters. So with these monogram letters, just be really gentle because you're not wanting to tear what you do have because it's pretty fine in between them. Okay, and then all I need to do is weed out this little center section right here. This is such a big chunk that I know I can do it with my fingernail. Okay, so there's that monogram, and now I'm going to apply my transfer tape. I don't know if I'm going to fit on screen, so that's why I'm showing you. Okay, so I put it on here. I'm going to rub it out with my brayer. Okay, so after I've rubbed it on there really good, we're just going to take it from the back, pull it off like so, and then we're going to do our best. Now the nice thing of having transfer tape is I have positioned all of this with the spacing that I want from the top. So if I follow the top, I can see where about that line needs to be in order to keep this straight. Now the thing with monograms is every now and then you may get some bubbles in with it. So just pull up your transfer tape and redo that little section if you feel like you got a big bubble in there. Okay, so there's no problem. The thing is, vinyl is repositionable, especially in the beginning. So right now, I can still pull this up and I can smooth out that bubble to where there's no wrinkles. And now I'll press everything down with my fingers, and there's absolutely no bubbles and no creases. And that makes a great little anniversary gift. All right, so now I'm going to do the other one. By using that technique with the transfer tape of eyeing it to where it's almost the same, you'll see the distance is even. That way when you're doing more than one glass, you can make sure that you have a nice distance on them. So let me take these outside and photograph them so you can see what they really look like. So as you can see, there's no bubbles. It lays completely flat. It stands up to heat and to water, so it's a really great vinyl to use. I've really enjoyed using these flat sheets because I haven't had to fight with the roll to get them to lay flat on my mat. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to check out Arteza's website, feel free to click on my affiliate link below. You'll see that their pricing is very competitive to the competitors, but the advantage is you get over 38 different types and colors in one package instead of having to buy all of those rolls of vinyl. So feel free to check me out on social media. Let me see your creations that you make with Arteza vinyl as well, and I'll see you in the next video.